It's Thursday, April 15th, 2025, and I opened up a new area for the sheep here Tuesday morning. So I've been rotating the animals for quite a while in 100-foot rows every 3.5 days, with the sheep leading and the cattle following. And now that the grass is growing fast enough that they'll never eat hay, what I'm going to start doing is getting set up for the leader-follower system. And I debated myself for a very long time. It was quite an exciting debate. At one point I was losing the debate, but then I was able to turn it around. But I'm proud to announce that I did win the debate with myself, but at the same time I lost. So no, in all seriousness though, I figured out that if I want to get the two animals to be right behind each other by one rotation, then that means either one group of animal has to slow down or the other group of animals has to speed up. And since there's not enough forage to slow down the animals, I want them to spend about a week in a row, a week in 2 rows, so 200 feet in a week in north-south direction. So I decided to have the cattle catch up with the sheep. So the sheep are going to be here this morning, and this afternoon I'm going to move them again and move them 7 times through this row. So twice a day, that's 3.5 days. And then the cattle are going to be right behind them. So as soon as they leave this area in the afternoon, the cattle are going to follow them. And so that puts the cattle in this row, which I'm going to move them soon. And that puts them in this row for only like 8 hours, 8 or 10 hours, which is fine. It'll be fine. There'll be lots of grass left over, but when I come back here in the summer, it should be even better. So I'm not too concerned about that. The other issue that I'm going to have is getting water to the animals. All my water points are set up along the western side of the fence here. I'll just kind of give you a view of that fence. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to protect the water line. If I put it out in the middle of the field without a fence over it or near it, then there's a good chance I'd lose it. I wouldn't be able to find it, but also that the animals would damage it. But if it's near the fence here, I can do things like this. I can put little wires out to prevent the animals from stepping on it. And so either I move the water with the animals, or I have to provide a lane back to get the water. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to provide a lane for the sheep to come back to get the water. So that lane hasn't started yet. It'll start with this afternoon's move, and I'll show you when I have it set up. But this is the plan, I think. And then I'll do twice daily moves. And then at some point I'm going to do 4 times daily moves. I think what I'll do is I'll move the sheep twice. I might even slow the sheep down so that they're moved once a day. So I'll just give them 4 rotations every day. And the cattle I'll move 4 times a day. I think the cattle do better with more rapid moves. That's my theory, at least. I'm going to test it out, see if it makes a difference. At some point I want to switch the direction. I want the cattle in front and the sheep behind. I don't think that'll be too hard to pull off. So what I'll probably do is just have the cattle skip forward on one of the rotations, give the sheep a little bit extra room, hold them a little bit longer and have the cattle jump forward, and then have the sheep follow them. I don't think that'll be a big issue. There might be a spot in my pasture which is a little bit undergrazed, but that's not a big deal. Leaving some forage behind is probably good for the whole system. So you can see how tall the grass is. Some of the grass is almost as tall as the sheep now. The grass is actually putting on seed heads. Let me show you what I mean by that. I noticed this a couple days ago on the side of the road, but you can see, let me try this. There we go. You see the seed heads on that grass? So they're starting to put seeds on, which is a good sign that the grass is maturing and the animals won't be so runny in their manure. So they'll probably firm up in their manure a little bit. And at the same time, the seed heads, or the beginning of the seed, there's a lot of carbohydrates in there. Not just protein and stuff to grow the grass, but lots of good things. And another note is that I saw when I laid out this new wire this morning to set up this new row, I saw a lot of clover, good strong clover growing in the grass symbiotically, and lots of other things too. I saw a bunch of hairy vetch out there, and buttercups, and what is it called? The blue-eyed grass, the little tiny blue flowers. You know, lots of good things going on here. Look at that jump. Do that again for me. Do it again. Jump up and down. The animals get so happy. That's a patch of clover right there that they're standing in. So, just lots of good news. It's going to be a great spring, I think. Look at that, going after that tree on that fence line. Cleaning up my fence line for me. Yeah, do it. Eat it all. You know. Anyway, I can't think of a single complaint other than it's slightly cold right now. It's like 60-something degrees. But really, is that a complaint in mid-April in Texas? I don't think it is. Guys, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.